Episode 4138, When Trying Harder Isn't Always the Answer.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. I hope you're having a fabulous week. Can you already believe it? We are midweek, and I don't know about you, but my weeks move faster and faster. In a blink, we are going to be in a brand new month. That means we only have 6 more months. Oh no, wait, 5 more months left in this year. So hang on to your seat when trying harder isn't always the answer. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already had the opportunity, you'll want to head on over to createyournow.com where you can learn more and sign up for the Kisses newsletter. They keep it simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, inspiring connection and community. Well, as you know, this is Wellspring Wednesday, and I want us to dive deeper. I want you to pull back even more. What are you hiding from? What is in the nooks and crannies of what you're guarding? In your heart, even in your mind. You know, there's a moment we all reach eventually. You come to the end of yourself. Done doing all the things that aren't working. Just done pushing, done grinding a little more, then a little more after that. Trying to manage what honestly was never yours to control in the first place. And somehow, in the middle of that mess, you find one more ounce of grit. So you dig deeper. You reach further. You tell yourself the answer is just on the other side of one more push. I can do this. I know I can. I'm right there. But what happens when trying harder isn't always the answer? I mean, what if for a moment, or maybe a whole season, you were to let up on the gas some? Not to be so heavy on the pedal, right? What if you put down the try harder fight and started living from a different place entirely? Not a place of striving, but a place of peace so you can actually thrive. You know, a lot of us grow up, and no fault to our parents by any means, or even our grandparents. I know because I've been both, or I am both technically. I'm a mama and I'm a grandmama. And when I look at all of what we try to instill in our children, right? We want them to exceed. We want to raise the ceiling for them. But you see, here's the thing. The grind isn't always growth. But for some reason, we want to project this onto our children, saying, if you want to get further faster, if you want to reach the tippy top, you got to be exhausted. You've got to be so busy. You have to be so full. Your plate can't ever be empty. You can't ever find peace. Grit matters. And there are those seasons that genuinely require it. I get that. Showing up when you don't feel like it, pushing through the middle when quitting would be easier. We get that, right? Maybe you're in college, go back to your college years or even your high school years, and you had to push at the very end to get your finals done. Why? So you could complete the class to move on to the next thing. Sometimes you're doing certifications. Maybe it's one of these things that in order to build your business, you have to reach a certain point so you can serve your clientele better. That makes sense. And that kind of effort is real and it's often necessary, but somewhere along the way, a lot of us confuse trying harder with trusting God. We started believing that if we just gripped tighter, hustled longer, and really controlled more, we'd finally arrive at peace. As if peace were a finish line you sprint toward instead of a posture you settle into. What is it for you? What does your life look like right now? What season are you in? Do you even know? And that's okay if you don't. Maybe you're like, Christiane, I don't have time to think. I get that too. I have moments that I don't have time to think. But I do make time for things that matter. And you matter, my friend. Here's something I really want you to think about. Peace was never on the other side of the grind. It's available right now, in the middle of it, if you're willing to loosen your grip long enough to receive it. I mean, have you really ever thought about what peace actually looks like? Now, let's be clear about what peace is not. Peace is not the absence of activity. It's not a life where nothing is wrong, no one needs anything from you, and every circumstance has resolved itself neatly. It's like, put a bow on my life and everything is great. That is not peace. Peace is knowing you're doing what you can control and then releasing the rest into God's hands as your next step. Peace is burying the worry instead of feeding it. Peace is pressing forward, not with force, but with ease because you know God's got you. It's where faith steps in, right? That distinction changes everything. Peace isn't passive. It's a decision made again and again and again to stop carrying what was never yours to carry alone. So at some point, you have to live from a place of peace. That is your Kiss to Keep It Simple strategy. Live from a place of peace. Peace. I mean, because think about what would happen if you let up a little on the gas. I mean, like for real. What do you think that would look like for you? And why not determine for a moment or two, stretching into a season where you put down the try harder fight and live a life from a place of peace? How would that change you? I know you're thinking, I don't have time. I'm too busy. Are you really? Because I want you to think about where your busyness is coming from. Now, I'm going to get probably a little bit too personal here, but I'm doing this for a reason. How many times have you taken your phone into the bathroom and you sat there and you scrolled? And what should have been maybe only a 2.5 to 4 minute, whatever you need to do in the bathroom, now has become 25 minutes and your legs are starting to fall asleep. We've all been there, including me. In fact, it happened to me a few weeks ago. It was truly innocent. I hadn't planned things. I needed to answer something pressing, but also my stomach was like, everybody out. And with my body, I just have to go with it. So I was like, okay, we're going to go do this. But I needed to get this done. And there was a time of urgency on, like I had to respond. Well, fine. I took care of it. Not a problem, right? The next thing you know, something else came through. And then, oh, wait, a notification. 35 minutes later, my friend, I'm still sitting there. For what reason? Some would say numbing out. Some would say maybe you're looking for peace. Maybe you're trying to find peace. Maybe your day has been so crazy that you just needed that break. Really? Could I have taken a break differently? That 35 minutes could have been spent differently. But on the pot, scrolling? I mean, come on. I know the picture's scary as all get out. I get it. But you've been there. Be honest. So what does it look like in the real world? When you want to have peace, but you're in the chaos, you're in the middle of the mess. You really can't escape it, but you know peace can find you. Let's break it down. It's an acronym, PEACE. So let's start with our P. Present it. Don't carry it. Whatever is weighing on you right now, name it. The relationship, right? Your marriage, the finances, the diagnosis, the decision you keep circling around. Present it. Say it out loud. Bring it to God instead of hauling it around silently, hoping sheer willpower will make it lighter. A lot of us do that. We think, oh, I can handle this. I got this. It's not a 911 moment. You kind of talk about it maybe a little bit, but you really don't share it with God. You kind of keep it underneath kind of your own arm, like, I got this. I don't need God for this. But you do. You weren't built to carry it alone, and pretending otherwise is exhausting you for no reason. Present it. Don't carry it. E, entrust. Entrust what you can't control. Now, there's a difference between giving up and letting go. Entrusting isn't quitting. Did you hear me? When you entrust something, you're not quitting. It's recognizing the outcome was never in your hands to begin with. You don't always get control of the results, do you? But we can be in control of ourselves and the steps that we take along the way. You can plan, prepare, and show up faithfully and still not control how it unfolds. Frustrating, I know, but understand this. Entrusting means you release the ending and trust the one who already knows it. Let go and let God. And trust what you can't control. Let's go to A, act. Act where you have influence. Peace isn't an excuse to do nothing. I think a lot of people think, oh gosh, if I just had all the money, if I won the Powerball, if I could tie my life with a little pretty sparkly red bow, put it under the Christmas tree, and I open it up and everything's done for me, that's awesome. That's when I have peace. Peace isn't an excuse to do nothing. There's always a next right step, right? The phone call, the boundary, the conversation, the small obedience in front of you today. Act there. Take action, take aim, right? Action ignites motivation. Do it full out. Then stop trying to act everywhere else too. Do what you have influence on, where it counts, what you can control. Don't look side to side. Don't look at your neighbor, your best friend. Don't look at your brother, sister, or your mama. Don't go to a colleague like, oh gosh, I wish I could be just like them. Act where you have influence. That's what counts. And then there's C, cease. Cease the striving. Somewhere it says, right? You know this, be still and know. Be still and know what? Be still and know that I am God. Not be still and know that you need to strive harder. Ceasing the striving means you stop white knuckling your way through every outcome. It means you trade the grip for open hands, even when it feels counterintuitive, even when everything in you wants to push one more inch. Now, I'm not talking about these seasons where, it's the final exam type of season, and you got to do that in order to go to the next class. We're not talking about that. I'm not talking about, okay, well, you're in your 39th week of your pregnancy, and you're like, I just can't do this anymore. You can't give up now. You got to get to the very end, right? Okay, we're not talking about that part. Okay, there are some things that you have to keep going for. It requires resilience and determination, but it's where we get into the nooks and crannies of, I have to make this happen. I have to make this career move. And if I don't do it, it's not going to happen. So I'm going to push my way through. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to show them. It's that type of attitude. Cease the striving. Maybe we need to look more at how our head and heart are connected. And then finally, number E. Oh my goodness. Number 5, which would be the last letter, E. Ease into who you're becoming. This is the shift. You stop performing your way toward a version of yourself who has it all figured out. Because if we're honest with ourselves, me too included, perfection can own us. Performance can be our masquerade ball every single day. How many times do you show up differently at work than you do at home? Be honest. How many times do you go to church and you act like you have it all together, but just 2 minutes before you entered those double doors, you were yelling at your children, you were yelling at your spouse, everything was a mess, and now all of a sudden you walk into church and like, oh, it's fine. You have a smile on your face and like, this is great. Is it? You want to start easing into who God is already shaping you to be, who you are and who you are becoming, not with force, with trust. One step at a time leads to miles of greatness, right? You are becoming. Now, when you look at all of this, we've got to also consider this, that you got to have effort involved, because none of this means that effort doesn't matter, because it does. You have to put in the work. You have to be willing to show up. God may say, you know what, I've got a blessing here, but I need Susie Q to do this in order for this to happen. If Susie Q doesn't do it, it's not going to happen. Let me just use this as an example. Maybe you're thinking, I want to write a book. And if not, just go with me here on this. I want to write a book. You're not going to go up to the mountaintop and get the 10 Commandments like Moses did and get your whole book of 186 pages, 50,000 words written all by God. You have to sit your bottom in a chair, right? You have to be the one that says, I'm going to put pen to paper or fingers to keyboard, and I am going to write it. God may say, I'm going to open up the gates, and you're going to be able to have a publisher. You're going to have all of this. I have a way, but you have to be willing to do it. You have to have that effort. So there are moments to dig in, right? To push through, to keep going when everything says stop. So yeah, grit does have real value. But when grit becomes the only language you speak, and that's the key here, listen up. When every problem gets met with, gotta try harder, gotta keep pushing, instead of trust further, you burn out chasing a peace that was never going to come from more effort. You make room for real peace the moment you stop trying to force your way into it. The peace that transcends understanding doesn't show up because you finally worked hard enough to earn it. It shows up when you stop trying to earn it all. So who you're becoming, not where you've been, who you are and where you're going. Let the season be about that, not about proving yourself through where you've already been or how hard you've already fought. That's good, but that's already happened. It's about who you're being polished into becoming. That polishing rarely happens in the grind. It happens in the surrender. One step at a time leads to miles of greatness. My friend, life isn't easy. And quite frankly, you're probably going to face more failures and struggles and troubles than you will success and happiness. But remember, joy doesn't come from your doings. Joy comes from your Heavenly Father. So dig a little deeper. What are you doing? What are you trying to control out of your own mannerisms, out of your own habits? Maybe you need to let go and let God, because sometimes that step isn't a harder push forward. Sometimes it's simply letting go. Go in peace. Be present. Be incredible. Be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life, and love your journey? Visit CreateYourNow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.